Hello and welcome back. The musical trinity of Carnataki music lived and composed in an era when music was a way of life and inseparable from religion, one of the most accepted means of devotion to the Lord. Muthuswami Dikshityar, one among the celebrated musical trinity, was born in Tiruvarur. He was the eldest son of Subbamma and Ramasamy Dikshityar, who was a gifted composer and a descendant of Venkatmakki. He was named after the temple deity Muthukumar Swami. The boyhood of Muthuswami was one of the total dedication to studies. He acquired profound scholarship in the ancient Shastras. Ramaswamy Dikshityar gave his intense training in the Lakshya and Lakshana aspect of Carnatic music. The Lakshana Gitas and Prabandhas of Venkatmakki formed an important part of the training. Since Muthuswami had already taken to the veena, it was decided that Baluswami, his younger brother, should learn playing on violin. When he was in his teens, his father sent him on a pilgrimage with Chidambarnath Yogi, a wandering ascetic, to learn music and philosophy. His travels took him to several places in North India, and he stayed in Kashi for several years. During his stay at Kashi, Muthuswami Dikshityar had a splendid opportunity of listening to Hindustani music in all its purity. This had a profound influence on his creative genius, which becomes apparent not only in his handling of Hindustani ragas, but in the portrayal of ragas in general as well. His gurus taught him Mantra Shastra, music, and Sri Vidya Upasana. He also presented him with a veena over which Dikshityar soon gained mastery. According to legend, his guru asked Muthuswami to visit Tirutani. There, while he was immersed deep in meditation, an old man appeared and asked him to open his mouth. He dropped sugar candy into his mouth and disappeared. When Dikshityar opened his mouth, he had a vision of Lord Muruga, and he composed his first kriti, Sri Nathadi Guru Guha, in Rag Maya Malav Gauda, and adopted Guru Guha as his mudra. It is this spiritual inspiration that resulted in his becoming a musical genius and made him a prolific composer. Dikshitar is said to have composed around 1000 kritis, of which only 450 to 500 have come down to us today. His compositions are noted for the depth and soulfulness of the melody and their musical brilliance. He also traveled extensively on pilgrimages and composed kritis about the deities of all the temples he visited. So exhaustive was his pilgrimage that he left no temple in his vicinity unvisited and no deity unsung. His compositions reveal his mastery of Agama Shastra, Mantra Shastra, and Sthala Vishesh of the temples he visited. Dikshitar, being a Devi Upasak, in addition to being a Bhakta, placed greater emphasis on ritual and form, which is reflected in the level of details as well as lesser spontaneity in his compositions. Unlike Tyagaraj's composition, which are mostly akin to conversation, Dikshityar's kriti tried to be encyclopedic in nature, with a wealth of information on the deity. His drive to include as many details about these shrines as possible in his kritis seemed to have led to a greater number of compositions on each deity. He also had a deliberate approach to composition as compared to his peers, who seem to have composed spontaneously. Since he was not only a bhakta but an upasak as well, erudition, command over language, and mastery over disciplines like Tantra, Jyotish, etc., gave Dikshityar a methodical and analytical approach to creating compositions. For example, he composed songs about all the Shodhas, Ganapatis, as well as Kritis on all the Navagrahas. According to legend, one of his disciples, Thambiyappan, is said to have developed a serious ailment. His astrologer assured him of a cure if he worshipped the Navagraha. But Thambiyappan could not worship as ordained in the Vedic tradition because he did not belong to the class of twice born. Touched by the plight of his disciple, Dikshitar found a way out. All the essentials and attributes of the grahas were molded into musical composition. This enabled Thambiyappan to pray to the Navgrahas with music. Thus, Dikshityar had shown the way to earn the divine grace of the Navgrahas through music as an alternative to the age-old mode of tantric worship. Muthuswami Dikshityar was a Vainika Gayaka. He sang to the compositions of the Veena. It is this composition that distinguishes Dikshityar's composition from those of others. His kirtanas are in slow tempo, ideally suited for the portrayal of raga in all their beauty. The Veena is best suited to bring out gamakas. Accordingly, rich gamaka prayoga are another outstanding feature of Dikshityar's composition. Though he did not compose kritis set entirely in Madhyamalaya, one of his greatest contributions was introducing variety in Kala Prakamanam in each kruti with Madhyama Kala Sahitya. Almost all his kritis have a portion of the charanam and sometimes of an anupallavi and occasionally the pallavi as well set to Madhyama Kala. This could potentially be attributed to the influence of Drupad singing in his style of composition, since he had spent a significant amount of time in Varanasi. In addition, his mastery of Sanskrit enabled him to express himself through additional Vibhakti Kritis, where he composed a set of Kritis on a deity, each beginning with different declinations of the deity's name. Other group kritis of Dikshityar include Navarana kritis on goddess Kamalamba, Vibhakti kritis on goddess Abhayamba, Vibhakti kritis on Lord Rama, and the Gaula series on goddesses Nilotpalambika and Panchalinga Sthala kritis. The later are 8 Vibhakti kritis in widely different ragas, with the sole common feature being the name Gaula. Dikshityar had composed in all Vivadiswara melas as well as many Janya ragas of such melas. Dikshityar preferred ragas in which he could bring out Vakra Sancharas, which add beauty to Vivadiswara Mela raga. Looking at Dikshityar's body of composition, it seems likely that he attempted in methodical work his way through the 72 Melakarta ragas, but some of them are not available. Given the vast store of musical ideas he had, it is not surprising that he had composed a large number of kritis and explored many popular as well as rare ragas. Some rare ragas he composed include Jagan Mohanam, Sri Vidya Rajgopalam, Santana Manjari, Mahuri, Mamavu Raghuvira, and Tarangini Mayetvam. Though Dikshityar did not create as many new ragas as Tyagaraja did. His kritis in rare ragas like Mahuri, Sarangatna, Chayangula, Kaumudakriya, etc. are only lakshas available for these ragas and serve as the definition of the form of these ragas in Carnatic music. Muthuswami Dikshityar has composed a number of kirtanas in Yamuna Kalyani, Yaman of Hindustani music, and among them special mention is to be made of Jambupate Mamapahi, which stands unrivaled with regard to the richness of raga bhava and grandeur of style. Parimala Ranganatham in Hamir Kalyani is again a brilliant composition that brings out the silent features of the raga in de-alienated in Hindustani music. Chetashri Balakrishnam in Dvijavanti is a magnificent portrayal of the evocative raga in all its varied hue. He also composed Western tunes called Notu Swaras. Dikshityar composed 40 short simple songs in Western style on various deities in Rag Dhira, Shankarabharanam, which is equivalent to C major scale in Western classical music. Some rare ragas in Dikshityar has composed include Tarangini, Manoranjani, Lalita Panchamam, Mela Panchamam, Devarangi, Navaratna Vilasam, Mangala Kaishiki, among others. However, the scholarly nature of Dikshityar's composition, the usage of lesser known naming scheme as well as the higher levels of difficulty in rendering Dikshityar kritis have probably contributed to these being more rarely used compared to the overwhelming popularity of Tyagaraja's composition. Even though Dikshityar kritis are all highly respected as classical compositions, many of them have remained in books and manuscripts or are performed only as exhibition pieces rather than as compositions that are used for Nirval, etc. Only a highly skilled artist can try Niraval in a Dikshityar kriti, and many of his kritis do not give scope for Niraval at any place, like in Dakshinamurti, sung in Shankarabharanam, or Sri Kantimatim, sung in Hemavati. Dikshityar has used a wide range of talas in his kriti, much more than Tyagaraja and Shyama Shastri. In a move typical of his methodical approach, he set the first 7 of Navagraha kritis to the Solladi Spata talas, Dhurva, Matya, Jampa, Triputa, Rupaka, Ata and Eka. For the 7 Graha Surya, Chandra, Angaraka, etc. in that order. He also seemed to have had a liking for Khandajati, Atatala, Khandajati, Ekatala. Some of his kritis in the later include Hariharaputram, Vasanta, and Sri Dundurge, Sri Ranjani. Though Dikshityar's focus was bringing out the essence of different raga through his compositions, he also illustrated the use of unfamiliar tales very well, balancing different parts of Sahitya in Tala as rarely used as Durvatala. The other rare talas used by Dikshityar include Mishra Jati, Champatala for Kamalayambaha in Bhairavi, Dakshinamurtaye, Shankarabharanam, and Veena Pustaka, Vegavahini, Atatala for Aryambam Aryambam, Bhairavi, and Sri Valmiki Lingam and Kamalambikai, both in Kamboji, as well as a few other compositions. Dikshitar specialized in using Rupakatala with the 3 aksharas in double kalai, which he has used for many of his kritis, such as Ramanatham Bhajeham in in Pantulavarali. He also used the difficult pada patterns of three avatars in kritis like Manasa Guru Guha, Ananda Bhairavi, Jambupate, Yamuna Kalyani, and Chintaye Ma Bhairavi, and varied the structure by reverting to the two avatara length in Madhyama Kala Sahitya. He also composed the kritis such as Neerajakshi, Hindolam, and Ramachandram, Vasanta in Rupakatala with two avarta padas. As mentioned earlier, Dikshitar specialized in varying the speed in his kritis using Madhyama Kala Sahitya. Varying the speed is done differently in different systems of music. In Hindustani music, this is done randomly without any systematic arithmetic progression. But in Karnataka music, this is generally governed by the rules of geometric progression. In terms of themes, on account of his choice of language, Dikshitya's kriti are largely descriptive in nature, full of adjective about the deity in the basic vibhakti connected with verbs like bhajami, nammi, karomi, bhaja and bhaja, etc. However, his command over the language enabled him to employ many musical embellishments, and his style was one of much erudition and knowledge. As a result, it was an extremely difficult one to follow, and not even his disciples have been able to successfully compose it in the same style. Dikshitar can truly be said to be one of its kind. Tyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam is justly famous Dikshitar Kruti, which his prosodic excellence reaches new heights. This Kruti starts in Adhara Shadja and set to Rupakam 2 Kalai. It has a grand beginning with Sa, Pa, Ga. The Raga's beauty can be seen in each phrase. There is a Raga Mudra at the beginning of the Madhyamakalin passage, Shri Guru Guha Gurum Satchitananda Bhairavashyam. Dikshityar's use of both Gopaguha and Strotavahiyati in this composition is masterly. If Hari Kamboji is the tertiary of Tyagaraja, Madhyam Mavagola is Dikshityar's fort, it is said. It is clearly brought out in his 47 and odd compositions in this raga and its derivatives, including rare ragas like Salanga, Nati, Padi, and Mangala Kaishiki, which would have been lost to prosperity but for these compositions. Dikshityar's music is rich in rag, bhav, tal, and sahitya. The credit of breathing life into several music scales and elevating them to the position of the raga goes to him. Dikshityar kritis are a perfect blend of his musical skill and sharp intellect. They evoke mostly a feeling of serenity and poise. The rag and the tala mudras woven skillfully into the kritis fabric are exclusive to the songs of Dikshityar. His remarkable intellect and skill in Sahitya were revealed in Gopaguha and Strotavaha types of yatis in his kritis. He has composed a Telugu Padavarnam, Rupamu Juchi in Rag Todi and Daruni Sati Sri Ranjani. Unlike other compositions, he did not compose any krutis with multiple charanas but stuck to the single charana format. The only kruti of his with multiple charanas are Mayetvam in Rag Tarangini and his Rag Malike. Perhaps Dikshityar's most famous Rag Malike is in his Chaturdas Rag Malika. Shri Vishwanatham Bhajeham, which employs 14 ragas and follows an intricate and intrinsic pattern. Shri Vishwanatham Bhajeham, which employs 14 ragas and follows an intricate pattern. The Pallavi has 2 ragas starting with Shri Raga, and each rag is
encapsulated in two lines of one avarta, the second being in Madhyama Kala. Similarly, the Anupallavi is set to four ragas Gauri, Nata, Gaula and Mohanam. But at the end, after Mohanam, a Viloma passage takes us through the same four ragas of the Anupallavi and the two of the Pallavi in reverse order, back to Shri. The same pattern is followed in the Charanam with 8 raga Sama, Lalita, Bhairavam, Saranga, Shankarabharanam, Kamboji, Devakriya and Bhopala, and these are again taken in reverse order in Madhyama Kala Sahitya back to the Pallavis in Shri. Dikshitar has followed a pattern not only in the order of occurrence of the ragas but also in terms of the length of the avartas of each rag. The fifth and the sixth raga, Gaula and Mohanam, have been allotted 1.5 avartas all in Madhyama Kala, while the preceding ragas have been given 2 full avtaras, one each in the same Kala and Madhyama Kala. The same pattern has been followed in the first half and the second half of the Charanams of Rag Malike. Another striking feature of Sahitya of this Rag Malike of Dikshityar is the last part of the Swara Sahitya set to each Rag is composed of the same words as of the last part of the preceding line of the Sahitya. Much has been said of the miraculous power of Dikshityar's music. On his way to Etayapuram in search of his brother, he halted at the drought-ridden village of Sattur. Greatly moved by the plight of its people, Dikshityar prayed to the Devi seeking her grace and beseeched her to put out the misery of the people there. Rain poured in the region as Dikshityar sang Anand Amrit Varshini in Amrit Varshini. When the rains continue unabated and the village got flooded, he had to plead Stambhaya, Stambhaya, meaning stop, stop, to bring the torrential rain to a halt. This event stands as a testimony to the power of musician and his music. Unlike his father, Dikshityar never quoted patrons or praise. In Tiruvayur, his disciple Kamalam, moved by his poverty, offered to sell her jewels to help him. Dikshityar refused. With the unflinching faith of a child, he placed himself at the feet of the Divine Mother, shunning all human help and sympathy. Hiranmayam Lakshmim Ashrayami Hiranmayam Vasyam Tvajami. He declares boldly in one of his kritis. It is said that Devi did not forsake him. She ensured he suffered from no need thereafter.
The year was 1834. In the month of Asweja, on the Chaturdashi preceding Diwali, Muthuswami Dikshityar woke up in the early hours, as was his practice, and after yogic practices, went to take his bath. He had a vision of Kashi Annapurneshwari. Even as he was gazing on it, the vision vanished. Dikshityar remembered that Chidamba Yogi had told him. Dikshityar remembered that Chidambara Yogi had told him at Kashi that she would not only feed him for life, but would also give him moksha. Dikshityar felt his end was nearing. He performed Navavarana Puja to the Devi and sang Kriti Ehi Annapurne. After the puja, Dikshityar moved on to the drawing room where his disciple had assembled. Today is Chaturdashi day, a sacred day to the Devi. May you all sing kirtanas in her praise, said Dikshityar to his disciples. They began singing Meenakshi Me Mudandehi in Rag Gamakakriya. It looks as though the Devi is liberating me from the bonds of this world. Sing the Kriti again, said Dikshityar. They did so. Even as they were singing the Sahitya of Anupallavi, Meena Lochini Pashamochini, he cast off his mortal coils. Several of Dikshitya's kriti are used by dancers in Bharatnatyam. The gurus of Sri Rajarajeshwari Bharatnatya Kala Mandir have adapted Meenakshi Mudam Dehi as a Shabdam. Many others perform it as a salutation to Devi. Hiranyamai Lakshmim Sada Bhajami or Lakshmi in Rag Lalita is another favorite with dancers. Ananda Natana Prakasham in Kedaram, Akhilandeshwari in Dvijavanti, Sri Mahaganapati Ravatu Mamam in Gaula, Matangi in Ram Manohari, Kanjadalayakshi in Kamala Manohari, Sarisa Janabhama Sadori in Nagadhari are some kritis that have been used by dancers. Dear students, I hope we have all enjoyed the journey of Muthuswami Dikshitya.